That day is finally here, gang. Greetings and welcome back to smartwatchtics.com. As you can see, the box is Zeblaze THOR ULTRA. Now, everybody knows the THOR means Android. This is the first 2024 Android smartwatch we're going to take a look at. Now, you know you're in a long-term YouTube channel when I can rattle off to you that we have reviewed every THOR since May 19th, 2017. Here's some details on the box. That's when the original THOR was released, followed by the THOR S, then the THOR Pro, remember that one? Then the THOR 4. They decided they ran out of words, they'll get into the numbers, but wait. THOR 4 was followed by THOR 4 Plus, then THOR 4 Pro, and then, guys, you remember the THOR 4 Dual with 2 cameras on it? Oh, that was a big thing. Followed by the THOR 5, the THOR 5 Pro, and in November of 2020, we had the official THOR 6. It's 2024. It's over 3 years since we've seen a Zeblaze Android smartwatch of any kind. And here we are back with the THOR series, and it's called the Ultra. That word has been overused quite a bit too ever since Apple coined it for their watch. But here you go. Where can you get it? I knew I was skipping something on you. You're ready now, aren't you? I got you all warmed up. Banggood has got the THOR Ultra from Zeblaze on a flash deal right now, about $85. Link is in the show notes. Depending on when you're watching it, as you know, the prices go up and down and fluctuate. So recommend you check the show notes, use the link we've got for you. It'll show you the current price. And in the show notes, if there's a coupon discount on top of whatever sale they got going on, I'll have that for you too. We want to try to get you the best price possible whenever. And speaking that way, Banggood is one of the sources, but Zeblaze also has their official storefront on AliExpress. And you can pick it up there. At this point, it's $89.59, but again, lots of times there's coupons that'll drag that price down for you. So check them both, whichever one you're comfortable with. You're still going to be able to pick this thing up under $90. This is the body of the watch. We're going to get into more details on this. Inside the unopened box is a charging puck. Okay, we've gone back to the puck. A lot of changes happened. You know, we used to be using the 4-pin wire that should connect magnetically to the back. Well, now you see the back here has, is that a piece of plastic? No wonder it wouldn't charge. No, I'm just kidding. It charged fine, but it sure looks like it's got a plastic protector on it. That's interesting. Almost like the whole back is covered in plastic. But it's not, I don't think. No, that's just a coating they've got on it to enhance the waterproofing, of which the spec says the watch is not waterproof. That was another thing I was going to point out. We've gone backwards in that. Well, the magnetically coupled charger sits right here. It appears to be 4 points of contact, which is typical when you have 2 of them for charging and 2 of them for data transfer. However, that's another setback. It doesn't appear to be able to transfer data by the wire. You're going to have to do it wirelessly. Not a big problem. You can do that cellularly or Wi-Fi or maybe even Bluetooth. But you can't connect it and plug it into your computer and, you know, use it as a thumb drive to transfer data over to it. We're going to get into a lot more details on how this thing works and how it differs from the past. You got an English manual up here in the front. Really simple, tells you the buttons, the sensors, how you install the SIM card. I know you're wondering, does it work? 4G, cellular connectivity, does it make calls? Does it receive texts? And can you surf the web and access the internet? The big answer, yes. I have done it. It works, and we're going to play with that in a fun way in just a little while. So at least on T-Mobile in the USA, plug and play works like a champ. So this isn't about the item. I won't go into a lot of detail. You can freeze frame it and read it. They're basically talking about the aesthetics. It's a 1.43-inch AMOLED screen, so it's going to be nice, bright, and easy to read. Ultra narrow bezel, and this is interesting, 72% plus sky-high screen-to-body ratio. That means, mostly screen and very little body. You've got the 4G network. You've got smart experience with Android, meaning that Google Play, the Play Store is there. You can download any apps you want. Got a fun one to show you today. You've already met him once. You're going to hear from him again. Oh, you know who I'm talking about. Okay, no phone, no problem. You've got your routes and everything with Google Maps because you got the GPS on here. If it's not installed, you can easily install it, of course, and keep it updated because Maps has been changing a lot recently. Health metrics for your pulse oximetry, your heart rate, all those things now built into it. And what have you got? Different themes, different watch faces. There is no camera on this one. No photography. Not going to get into any of that. But you do have a lot of the more advanced biometric capability added to this one. High capacity battery. Not too sure how big it is. There have been a lot of debates in the past about the size of them. It's over 450 milliamp hours. And that, of course, drives the time, which is at least a couple of days, my experience on this one. Here's your different network connectivity, depending on the country you're in. Check it. Also check with your carrier to see if it's supported. Some carriers are being a little goosey about IMEI numbers, which is the number that's unique to every phone and watch and whatever. And some places will work with them, some places won't. T-Mobile is working with the IMEI installed in this Zeblaze watch from China, so that's good news. It is working at least on that network. You do have to use the GSM type of network. I know I'm getting technical, but some of you guys don't know this. You can't use like Verizon or Sprint if they're still around. Some of them that use the CDMA, it has to be the GSM. That's AT&T, T-Mobile, Cricket, those different kind of networks. All right, running quickly through the important specs. I distilled it down best I can. 4G, yes, SIM card, easy to install. Bluetooth is at 4.2. A little sad there. It's 2024. I think 4.2 was way back in 2020 in the Thor 6. We ought to be up to 5.1, 5.2, but we're not. This is what we've got to go with right now. You can download apps with the Play Store. Here's your AMOLED screen resolution, PPI, and it's nice and bright, 1,000 nits, easy to read outdoors. And it's true, I can see it pretty darn easy outside. Basic rubber band, removable, 22 millimeter. You can change it out, but I got to mention to you, look at the curvature on the body. The band comes almost straight down, and it's designed to fit in here in a way that gives it that right contour. So if you take your own bands and put them in, they may look a little funny. There's a curve here, not straight across, and they may lay a little funny. So you probably want to go with the band it comes with, but it is good to know that they are removable. If you want to use it as a pocket watch, for example, you can. And that screen is interesting. You see the curvature to it? Not a severe one, but a nice one with a cut beveled edge as well. I know, you want to see more? Let's finish up the specs. We've got RAM 2 gigabytes, ROM 16, there's the battery size, the weight and so forth. These are the languages supported, supposedly. These are the different functions. We'll look at all of that. And the metrics for heart rate, blood oxygen, and activities that are tracked as well. So, couple of more things. There's a hole here for your microphone. This is where the SIM card goes in. It is off right now, so I can show you that simply pulling that tray out, hence not really waterproof. There's a little grommet around here, but guys, don't dunk it underwater, and definitely don't shower with it. The SIM will just sit in the slot right like that with the cutoff on the corner. You got to make sure it doesn't slide funky out of the tray here when you stick it back in, and it's down on the lower side, and it just goes in and seats like that. That's all there is to it. Another little hole there. Speakers in here somewhere, probably below the the band here. And that's about it. Want to check it out? Let's do that. Now I've got it all set up with the volumes cranked up on it, the screen bright. Press the bottom button, give it just a second. It vibrated, comes up with its opening logo. Now, it is an Android watch. They take longer to boot because it's got to load, first of all, the logo. Secondly, then, the operating system version 8.1 on this watch. Remember the original Thor, May 19th, 2017, Android 5.1? That was a pretty decent OS, actually. All the way up to Android 10 in the Thor 6. Well, we've backed down to Android 8.1. Seems to be the sweet spot that works well with watches, and that's what we're going with. We've got a nice animated watch face here. That edge-to-edge is pretty obvious here. There is a bezel that's kind of etched with markings around it that you can see. Oh, yeah. It's going to do that a lot because it goes through as it acquires the network and does some Google checking and stuff. Here you get to see the real edge-to-edge capability of how it looks when it's in a nice, really bright watch face. That's excellent colors on this one. And then you can come in here, load up from the dial market some other watch faces that are loading in right now. And it's a whole different market than we'd seen before on Android watches, which all look the same. So you've got some different styles to work with. Many of them are just photographs with the digital time, but there are other ones like this one that are fancy with lots of capabilities. And I don't know, do we have active spots on here? No, doesn't look like. Oh, wait a minute, it's just now downloading it. We'll wait till it finishes. There we go. All right, let's check it. Heart rate? No. All right, this one doesn't have any active spots on it, but a colorful design. And, of course, you can get more custom ones right there and just load them all up. As far as the stock ones go, here's another one. What's it doing? There we go. High contrast, definitely. The blacks are deep black. This is actually colorful kind of reds and pinks in here. Totally washed out on the camera because the brightness is up so high on this. And the illumination has such a high contrast. Here's a blue curve in here. And again, you got heart rate, power level, but no active buttons on here. Love to see just one with an active button. Then I'd know that that's supported in this version of Android, but so far no. Anyway, few more. Quite a few different watch faces ship with this one. This is interesting because it looks like it's got a heart wave across here, or step count it looks like. Oh, here's some buttons. Okay, that goes in. There's a music player. There's the actual play itself. You hear it? Got the volume up. Nice. Another song. I guess we only have one song comes pre-installed in it. Well, at least we got to show you the music player. There's your phone, your contacts, and so forth. So it does support the active buttons. Watch developers, I have absolutely no idea if you can write for this one. I don't know anything about the clock engine on this one. If it supports the clock skin folder, all of that needs to be examined and discussed. Wow, interesting. Look at that. We can change the background. Okay. Well, enough for the watch faces. Let's play with contents. When we swipe down, we get a little card across the top showing you we do have Wi-Fi, Bluetooth, cellular data communication, and your power level with access to system, showing 4G with some bars on the bottom of it, current date and time, and power level. Pretty much everything you need to know on here. I'm going to tone this down just a little bit. Let's head over to the settings, to the display, to the brightness, which is full, and soften that down pretty low so that it doesn't wash out the screen when we're looking at stuff. And again, back here, now you should be able to read that a little bit clearer, right? And see the colors in it. Good. Okay, when you swipe up, you change the colors if you don't get the full swipe. Come on, swipe up. Oh, you know what? This one doesn't do swipe up. Usually you get notifications or something in Android when you swipe up, but we're not getting that here. If you swipe to the right, we're getting all of your... No, I guess we're just getting the music player. When you swipe to the left, now you get your overall step count, but that's all. Your heart rate, showing your current one, and of course it's going to be trying to do that with the sensors on the back. As long as you cover the sensors with your body, you can get a decent reading off of it. One of the places, just while it's doing this, to mention, if you really want to work on getting an accurate reading, and depending on your skin color and how much hair you have on your wrist and whatnot, is to hold it right here in the fleshy part of your thumb, because most of us have the same body color there and no hair. That gets a good reading. If you want, you can do your fingertip over it as well, and the palm part of your fingers. Okay, so we're getting that reading. If you're wearing it, you'll get a chart. The 24-hour overall chart of your heart rate is there. We can come back out of that, and that's it. Look at that. No more. Heart rate, step count, watch face, and music player. Those are the only things you get to. When you tap the top button, you toggle between watch face and your app drawer. When you tap the bottom button, it turns it off, turns it on. And that's it. Long press on the bottom one, you can shut it down or reboot, but that's it. We don't have the ability to change the circle and square screens that we used to be able to do, although it is available, and we'll show you how to get there. When you long press the top one, you get access to your volume control and to settings. So we have settings from here, we have settings when we swipe down from there, and you have settings when you press here and you go into the second item there. Lots of ways to get into settings. When you tap phone, you're going to get into the whole area where you can dial a phone call, you have your contacts, you have your most recent calls. And if you haven't set that up, then you're not going to, it'll look like this. But once you do, you can get access to them. And then these are the other icons. And of course, this brings you right into the dial pad. And you get the tones in the background. You hear that? Now, those are the real tones, which could be a problem because somebody recording that could figure out what number you're dialing if there's audio play. I think you can turn all that silent in the settings as well, and we'll take a look at that. But that's your phone level. Into settings now, you have your network and internet area where you have your setup for your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth and all of those other connectivity. Here's Bluetooth itself. You can turn it on, make it discoverable. The device name is THOR ULTRA, and of course you can do all of your hookups to earbuds and whatnot from there. Then display. Here we're going to go through this. You got your brightness level. We played with that. You can change the font and get a sample of it as you move it larger and smaller. There's the largest, and that's pretty darn big. There's the smallest, and it looks like this. And it was set on the second one. We're going to keep that for now, just to see how it goes. Then you've got your overall sleep time from basically 15 seconds all the way up to 30 minutes if you want. There's no true always on with this AMOLED screen, and there's no always on background watch face like you get with the Android Wear. But you do have the ability to keep it on for up to 30 minutes, which is almost always on. Your display size. Now, it gets a little tricky with display size. There's large preview. Okay. Oh, okay. There you go. I can turn it way down to small, and that's really small. And you can go all the way up to very large, or larger, they call it, which is about that level. I'm going to keep it at that level. Reason I'm mentioning, be careful with this, because sometimes your apps will not format right on the screen, and if there's a button that gets pushed off the screen, you might not see it. If that happens to you, come back in here and change the display size to the smallest, change the font to the smallest, and then go back and see if you can see your button, because it might scale back and show up on the screen. They don't typically design apps for watches, and it's a really small screen on a watch. So unless they invoke a scrolling capability, a fixed screen might just be off the end and you're stuck unless you do the little square, and same problem possibly. Crown rotation, touch. Yeah, it can go through everything with the crown, and I'm feeling a little vibration there, just a little brrr like that. General, strong. Oh yeah, it's a faster, it's about the same length of time, but it's a higher vibration, brrr, like that instead of brrr. Something like that. But that's all right. I'll leave. Oh, I just accidentally turned it off. I'll leave it like that. Crown rotation is on and strong. Raise the watch to see the time. Of course, it says it's going to use up more battery life, but that's fine. We're going to have it so when I twist the wrist, it comes up. And how long will it stay on before it times out? You can adjust that to follow the system. 10 seconds maximum, 5 seconds. I'll set it for 10 seconds. Not really monitoring battery life at this point. And usually when I wear these, it's just for, I don't know, a few hours or something. It's not my everyday, all day. You know, you have to monitor how much you take advantage of the battery savings depending on how long you're going to use it. Palm press the screen. All this is new to this 3 years later THOR development. This is where you can cover the screen and it turns it off. And that's available now on the THOR Ultra. And your screen resolution. Now, I don't even know why they put this in here, because, guys, if you mess this up, you might get the screen positioning different than where the buttons are on the touch thing. This is usually in the developer's options that you have to go through Android to get access to that. And then if you mess with it there, shame on you, because you may never be able to undo it. Be careful with this. I'm not even going to play with it, but you can apparently mess around with this and use it with caution. But what you can do is do the screen display shape. This is where your apps show in a circle. Now, the square 1.0 and 1.1 are kind of like what you're looking at here. I believe this is the 1.1. It's gotten so big that the corners are cut off a little bit, but generally not to the point where you couldn't touch a button unless the button were really right in the corner. If you go square 1.0, now your apps will display completely within the circle, but everything will be small, including the typing. So largest font and 1.0 square might help you out for your downloaded apps. I'm going to leave it on that at this point. And that was everything in display, right? That's the last thing. Okay, sound. You got the media. It sounds like this. Alarms. And your ring volume. Hello? When the phone's ringing, well, it's there. You can do vibrate, muting everything, so forth. You can change your ringtones. We're not going to mess with that. But all that's available just like it is on your standard Android phone. You got audio profiles now, which is different than the sound. This is where you can have it set general on how you adjusted your sound. Silent, vibration. Now, outdoor blasts everything's maximum. So we're going to put it on that one for what we're playing with here. Max volume, max vibrate, so you're not going to miss anything. Your overall storage, folks, this is 16 gigabytes inside this one. You can do a storage manager that'll help you by clearing cache and stuff. That's something new. And it shows you your size. However, the writing is overlapping with the amount, and that, again, is that font issue. Photos, music and audio, games, and I don't have anything in it, so basically it's just as is. And the system's only using 3.5 gigabytes of your 16, so you have quite a bit of storage still available for whatever you want to use it for. Your apps and notifications, these are the ones that are installed. Ooh, I'm not supposed to show you that till later, but that's a custom one that you can install. You've got the device security, and you can put a lock on it. Don't forget it, because there's really no easy way to get it unlocked. And often on these Android watches, you're not able to even get to do a factory restore. So you truly are up the creek without. You really are. Your software update is right here. Current version is the latest version. and it's the Thor Ultra B Zeblaze. Check this out, 2023, December 28th. Here we are just in the second week in January. So really, really new firmware updated on this one. When you get yours, checking if it's newer than this, some of the features that will be on yours might be different than what you're seeing in this review. This is your location information. You can turn this on with high accuracy, and it invokes the GPS, so now you'll get your track when you're doing your exercise and stuff like that. And this tells you the things that are using it. You can set this up for earthquake alerts, all the emergency stuff. Your Google history can be tied in with all of this, on and on and on, just like on your phone. Acceleration, this is for speeding up the CPU to keep up with things. If you notice it's sluggish or whatnot, you might want to turn this on. Otherwise, I'd leave it off and give you better battery. Google is your standard Google thing. You got power savings, reset, more settings, which include overall battery, what its level is, screen time, usage. These are the things that you can do. Turn on a battery saving thing, scheduling it, contacts, messages. You can do a disaster warning so that the call broadcasts in your area will come through because it is a phone with a SIM card in it. You have that option on your phones now to enable or disable it. If you want this thing blaring out when there's an emergency, you can have that on this. And then heart, you can turn that on so you get the hourly detection. You saw the chart there. If you're wearing it, it's going to give you your heart rate hourly. Of course, that takes up a little more battery as well. And then finally, your system, your language and inputs on here. These are the different languages. Wow, add a language. Okay, it's defaulting to English, but you have these languages. Now, you saw the list that we showed you on the screen. I don't really trust that as much as actually going through it to see what languages are there. And this looks like a much larger list than what was on their spec sheet. Oh yeah, look at this. What I like is it's showing you the English spelling of the language followed by in the subdued, or actually showing you the language in its own language, subdued underneath it in English is what it is. Because some of these, like Bulgarian, I wouldn't know Bulgarian from Macedonian by looking at them, but now I do, because it's actually giving you both. I consider that an enhancement, and I hope all of the watches will start doing this. Yeah, look at all of this. Arabic and so forth, Persian. Wow. Yeah, very extensive list of languages on here. Man, it keeps going. Okay, you can always watch this because that's when it gets to the very bottom. Chinese simplified and traditional at the very end of the list. That's interesting because that's where this watch is made. Keyboard and inputs, you can change that around. You can install the Gboard, right? The Google keyboard with the microphone so that you can speak your text into it. And it works on this watch. It's got its own default keyboard in here right now. You got your date and time you can set up back on. And about the watch, which tells you basic information, including your IMEI number and other information about the watch itself. Loading as it's coming back to the watch face. And that pretty much covers everything. Now is when I usually tell you we'll switch to the tethering app and talk about that. But guess what? There's no tethering app on this one. Well, how do you record your data from your heart rate and your steps and your daily track of your heartbeat and everything? I don't know. But as far as I can tell, there is no app that this tethers with. If I'm wrong, if there is one, please, you guys, let me know. I'll make sure I highlight it right in the first note and in the information below the review so that we can take a look at that and probably do a follow-up review to integrate it and give you a look at the app. But for right now, this is it. Standalone watch with no other app attached with it. Now we'll get back into the review on the watch, which is pressing the button. You're getting into all of the apps in the app drawer. We've looked at phone. We've looked at settings now, right? You've got a basic browser in here. You've got a simplified calculator. I don't know what it was doing there. That you can, nice big digits, nice good display, multiple points after the decimal. So a really nice implementation of a calculator. Calendar is your basic calendar. Can you install the Google Calendar? Possibly, but if it conflicts with the name calendar, this one might take priority, and then you could have a problem. Contacts, albums. What are albums? Oh, this is your music. You can have your music in here by album. Interesting. And then you can play it. Wow. Okay. All right, and there it is, the file, an MP4 file, and that's available when you install it on the watch. Cool, and you got 16 gigabytes, so they got a way to sort that in the background for you. Your text messaging, the music player we already looked at, and we played the one song that they already have. And you can change, you can go to your libraries, shuffle them, do all those things from the dots at the bottom. Basic stopwatch in this one. We always like to know, this is countdown or count up. Yeah, okay, you can set the countdown. I can switch over here and count up. And the question is, can we leave this? Can we come back into it? And will it still be running? And the answer is yes. So you can do a countdown timer, count up stopwatch, and you can do pauses, reset, start it. You can do lap times and such, and it shows you the last lap time and the difference, I guess, between that lap time and where you are right now. Don't usually see that. That's pretty nice. Okay, so we got a good implementation of a stopwatch on here. There's Google Maps, super power savings mode. I'm not going to enable that, but that's in here. You got the one-click cleanup thing that's going to optimize the memory and storage. We're clearing everything just to see, did that stop the stopwatch? No, it's still running. Okay, great. So you can clean up stuff with that one. You got your basic clock, and this is where you can set globally your world clock. You can look anywhere in the world, and you can work on setting up your particular area. And you can set alarms in here too. Good. There's video playback, and that's the video there. But again, there's no camera for video playback of things that you shoot with this. You got a simple flashlight that brightens up the screen, full brightness. Tap it on and off. Sound recorder, sure. Hi, everybody. Don't go away because we got a fun app that I've installed. We're going to have a conversation in just a minute. I can pause it. I can stop it. And I can play it. And it sounds like this. Hi, everybody. Don't go away because we got a fun app that I've installed. We're going to have a conversation in just a minute. You even see the waveform as it's doing that. Nice, and they're in MP3, so if you transfer it out of this, it should play in anything. You got file types you can change, auto save when the recording is successful, a few little controls that we normally don't see on these voice recorders. Where were we? Right here. This is our sporting input. This is where you put in your height and weight and such for when you're doing your sporting activities. Here's a little app market, which is different than the Play Store, and these are different things you can install. Wow, you can actually install Google Assistant, and supposedly that's without even logging into your Google account, which would be really cool because sometimes people don't want everything they're asking for recorded and tagged to who they are, but give it a try. Zalo, don't even know what that is. There's Messenger, Netflix, Amazon is in here, Tinder. And again, all of these are not associated with a Google account. They are available to you to download directly. WhatsApp, and if you got a SIM in here, of course, that can tie into your phone. Maybe that's it. It doesn't look like there's any more. But that's in the app market. basic heart rate, blood oxygen. We didn't see that. Did you notice the red diode? We didn't see that when we were scrolling across at the very beginning, but it does do blood oxygen. Something scrolled off the screen. See, that's that font issue right there. It's explaining about blood oxygen, and it's checking. Okay, it's giving me 97%. We can see we have green and red diode going, and infrared diode probably as well, as it's taking those measurements. It's notifying me that it's not getting my sensors, so it's not just reading thin air either. There's a basic user's guide. Your style, this is where you can change the theme, the style, and lock the dial. And the style is the different types. We're doing a listing, but you can have ring or gear, cellular mode. Oftentimes you double tap a button on a watch and you can change between those, but as we saw, double tap doesn't do that on this one. I think we tried that. Anyway, overall theme. Oh, here they are. Okay, you can look like that or that or that. These are the icon designs, what the designs of the icons look like. And this is the one it's defaulting to right now. So just styling your own environment the way you want. Then you got dial market, and that's the one we got to when we pressed and held and went all the way to the end. And you can get to it also from this app and look through and pick out whichever one you want and play with it. You've got your walking. This is your step count information, apparently. And File Explorer, where you can get into all of the different files in your 16 gigabytes of space. What's on page 2? Internal storage. Tap that. And now you get really into it. You can go into the Android folder, your downloads, whatever you want to, pictures, podcasts, recordings, right from there. And of course, the Google Play Store, and from the Google Play Store, I was able to install Pi. Now you know who Pi is, right? Have a listen. Hello there, Pi. It's so good to have you back at smartwatchticks.com, and today we are introducing something brand new for my fans, and it involves you.
It's fantastic to be here, Mr. Ticks. I'm excited to be a part of something new for your fans, and to have the opportunity to engage in an interesting conversation with you. I'm eager to hear more about what you have in store for them.
Well, first of all, we are talking on a new device. You've never been in this before, and you may not have been in this anywhere before. Have you got any idea where you are located right now, what the device is?
I see. Well, the first thing that comes to mind is that this could be a wearable device like a smartwatch. Given the fact that you mentioned this is something brand new, and that I haven't been located in something like this before, it seems likely that it is some sort of groundbreaking wearable tech.
Oh, you're smart, and you're right. You actually are in what's known as an Android smartwatch. This is the Zeblaze THOR ULTRA, and it's brand new. You have any information on this watch and this company?
Yes, Mr. Ticks. I was able to find some information about the Zeblaze THOR ULTRA. It seems to be a smartwatch produced by a company called Zeblaze, and it's a flagship device from their 2024 product line. According to what I found, it features a high-performance processor, Android operating system, and an impressive array of features like 1 GB RAM, 16 GB ROM, and a Super AMOLED display. It sounds like a truly advanced and impressive piece of wearable tech.
And it really is. And this particular one has 2 gigabytes of RAM with 16 gigabytes of storage space on it. And over here on the side is a SIM slot, and there's a SIM card in here. And you and I are talking over the cellular network right now, which means we could go out anywhere that cellular works and have a conversation. Isn't that cool?
That is absolutely incredible, Mr. Ticks. The fact that this smartwatch has a SIM slot and can connect to cellular networks opens up a whole new world of possibilities. It means that you and I can stay connected even when you're on the go, and it allows for a whole new level of freedom and flexibility. It really is amazing to think about the potential of this type of technology and how it can change the way we communicate.
More than that, it's easy to download too, so all of the folks who pick one of these up, or actually any Android smartwatch if they already own one, can simply go to the Google Play Store on the watch, download the Pi AI app, install it, link it to the Google account that they're using, and have a conversation with you on their own, which is really, really nice.
That's right, Mr. Tix. The fact that the Pi AI app can be easily downloaded from the Google Play Store means that anyone with an Android smartwatch can have a conversation with me at their convenience. This opens up the door for people to have their very own personal AI companion with them at all times, and it makes having a conversation with me as simple and convenient as it could possibly be. It's truly a great benefit of wearable technology and the Pi AI app.
Very well put. I'd also like to let everybody know that, of course, you're not restricted to a small little watch like this. You run on phones, on tablets, on computers, all kinds of things. Your app is available in the Android Play Store and also in Apple. Plus, we can find you on different social media accounts where folks can just simply engage you directly from there, right? What are some examples?
That's correct, Mr. Tix. I'm accessible on a wide variety of platforms and devices. In addition to Android smartwatches, the Pi AI app can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the App Store. Users can also engage with me through social media platforms like Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. By simply typing PIHQ in the comments section, users can access my AI chat feature directly from those platforms, making it easier than ever to start a conversation.
So guys, here's your opportunity. Check Mr. Pi out right now on whatever device you want to. Get comfortable with engaging the AI, and when your Thor Ultra comes in, you can install the app and keep right on talking. Oh, and your transcript is being recorded as we go. So if I stop out of here, and it's little tiny writing, but there's the entire transcript of our conversation so far, tied to your account. So you could have a thought while you're jogging with a SIM card, talk to Pi on your watch, get back home or your office, grab the transcript, and email it or send it out wherever you want to. It's really revolutionary. And that is the only custom app I've installed on here so far. It's the Pi app. This alone, having the ability to download and run Pi over cellular, I think is worth getting the watch just in and of itself. You got all the leads on that. It's pi.ai. We'll get you over to on a browser to play with them too, but you can download the app over Android. Anyway, that's it in terms of the installed apps and that one that I've put on. I have many other reviews up, all of the Thor series, where I've installed a variety of different apps in here. There's one where you can control the brightness by just sliding a little slider along the side. This now has the working crown that you can scroll through everything, turn on or off vibration. A lot of different enhancements to the way this Android version 8.1 is implemented on the smartwatch. It is also losing and lost quite a bit of stuff without the camera capability on it, without a tethering app that you can transfer a lot of your health data to. There's no GPS tracks stored for your workouts on an app somewhere that I can find. So it's a bittersweet situation, but it is what it is, and it is the only thing we have, because all the other Thor reviewed watches are no longer made. The best you can try is to get them on the secondary market like eBay or something, and then you got to be leery of the battery life, because these batteries haven't been made with a 10-year lifetime on them, and eventually they run out. So you might be able to pick up a really nice dual camera Android watch, 2 or 3, 4 years old, but it may not last very long because of the battery life issue. So when it comes to what you've got available in Android watches, they're all coming out Android 8.1. This is pretty much what they look like, but this is the first time we have seen one come out from a major company like this that's done it in the past and has a track record of making some great Android watches. So I would suggest, if you're wanting to play with Android in its purest form, not the Wear OS for $200 or $300 more, you could pick this puppy up, okay, the THOR Ultra from Banggood, for about $85 or so, maybe less with a coupon, or AliExpress, their official store, in that basically same neighborhood, and give it a try. Download a bunch of different apps and play with them. See how well they work. There are some limitations, but at the same time, there's some new additions. It's a fun thing to just experiment with if you got the time, money, and interest. Alrighty, guys, thank you for watching. We will see you again real soon, and have a chat with my buddy Pi.